The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Glad you guys are here. Hello, howdy, howdy. See folks get in. I'm starting just a little bit early just because I want to say hi. Glad you guys are here. Um, there's a spot, and you'll hear this again in the question area on the GoToMeeting dashboard or control panel you have. You'll see that there's a question area. So I always like to I'll start asking that as we get more folks coming in here. I'd love to hear about where people are trading from and what they trade, and kind of just get an idea of our general audience. It's I'm not in front of the audience. I can't see you, and I'm just sitting in my home in the trading room, just talking to myself. So, uh, oh, Mark, good morning. Yeah, not good morning. Good. I'm not sure what time it is for you, but howdy. Yeah, welcome and thank you for participating, folks. Tell me where you're from. I love to hear that. And it does help me realize that there's actual real people on the other end of the microphone here. So again, I'm just in the trading is such a lonesome occupation. You're just by yourself generally, usually. My first couple of years of trading, I traded from work in an office, and people would hear me yell when things went well and moan when things went bad. But other than that, so um, it's fun to see where folks are trading from. So welcome in, folks that are getting in. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I'm just kind of just visiting with folks just for a minute. Um, and we're going to wait just a minute for catching up, folks, as we get more and more folks in. But if you don't mind, I'll just kind of comment on the folks' place where you guys from. Montana and Florida have been shared. I've got some people from back east sharing. United Kingdom. Okay. Yep. I see a lot of folks. That again, that's it's just amazing to me that folks get in here from there's folks from all over the world seeing the same thing I'm seeing and trading the same markets I'm in. You guys trade mostly futures, or is there stocks involved, options? We have customers that do cryptocurrency. We have customers that do all kind of just different anything that can be traded out there. The buy side global customers seem to appreciate it and get and use. So yeah, mostly futures, some stocks. Um, some folks are doing crypto, looks like. That's always been interesting. Uh, somebody typed in bank stocks. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. So, folks that are just joining us here, again, I'm Dave from BuySide Global, and glad you guys are here at the webinar. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I'm just letting a few folks get in. I always figured there's that guy like me or girl like me that is struggling to get into the room. They can't remember where the email is, or forgot or whatever, and they're clicking on right now trying to get in the room. It's only a couple minutes after we're supposed to start. Although there is part of me that's when I show up a little bit early to a meeting or right on time to a meeting, and then they wait for everybody else, that always makes me mad. Including family dinners when they wait for the last person to show up. I'm like, hey. So I just kind of chatting with you for a minute here, but I have a personal, like, if we meet somewhere, I don't mind at somebody's house, it's their call, but if we meet at the restaurant, if somebody says, hey, let's go to dinner, let's meet at 7, I always say I'm ordering at 7:05. So I'm not going to sit there and wait for someone. No reason for me to be hungry, um, and I have a dangerous hangry streak. So so that's that's to be expected, as well. So, well, let's get started. Yeah. So again, I'm just while you guys are listening to me talk, if you find the control panel, they can call it a dashboard or the control panel, on the GoToMeeting webinar, should be up on your computer somewhere where it's near similar to where you're seeing my screen at. You should be able to see that there's a place you can chat and in questions. I'm not in the chat area. It's in the questions section that you can look up and see um, uh, where what questions are at. So we'll try and get those. Sometimes there'll be a hard question that we get that I won't be able to answer to, but somebody else here, we got other people monitoring this, and they might be able to see what's going on with that. So yeah, people needing to make me wait is a control issue for sure. So all right, well, let's get started. So again, I'm Dave. This is BuySide Global. Let's get through the preliminaries. We got to jump through some hoops here. One of them is we always make sure people know that trading is risky. We're going to be talking about how to automate your trades based on supply and demand and trend. How are you going to find the trend, and how we're going to help you with this? We'll get to our agenda in just a second, but I just want to point out that that's who we are, BuySide Global. We do have to cover this. I think it's a legal requirement, but it's more important, it's a moral requirement. Please understand trading is risky. If you don't know that, that's maybe the first lesson you need to learn, is that you put a trade on, a real trade with live money on the market. There's a good chance you can lose that and the next couple trades as well. Please, we would recommend don't trade with money you can't afford to lose, affect your daily living or your retirement horizon. We follow CFTC Rule 4.41, and please understand that I'm not, nor anyone you hear from in this webinar, I'm not a licensed broker. I have no reason to give anybody financial advice at all. This is for educational purposes, and it's not a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell futures or options. So that, having said that, you know trading is risky. So that just to have going in with your eyes wide open. But we're going to talk about that, how we can reduce that risk, how we can reduce basically we'll talk about a learning curve for that. So, okay, enough said about that. If you haven't read through this disclaimer, feel free, if you're watching this later on YouTube, pause it and read through that, but I think everybody understands that. And now here's our information, buysideglobal.com. That's our website. You can head over there and we'll talk about this more too, but that's where you can see our plethora of products to help you become a bit more successful trader. Shoot us an email, info@buysideglobal.com. There's a phone number. Calls are usually best. That's not my personal cell phone or my personal email, so it takes a minute if you have any question for me specifically to get to me. So again, we're glad you're here, and I want to respect your time. So talk about BuySide a little bit. We do advanced order flow software for NinjaTrader. So one of the first questions we always get is, does this work on any other platform? And the answer is no. Our stuff is specifically for NinjaTrader. However, NinjaTrader is free. So if you love Trade-O-Vate or Thinkorswim or whatever you're trading with and it's not NinjaTrader, you can just get a free copy of BuySide or of NinjaTrader and use the BuySide Global stuff on there. So, all right, so we make trading strategies for the active day trader so you can make smarter entry and exit decisions. Started in 2014, and we've exclusively partnered with NinjaTrader. Research and development has gone into a lot of this. We've worked really hard on this. A lot of it has gone into this stuff. So let's go through the agenda. We're going to talk about why do so many aspiring traders fail, and what are the secrets to become a successful day trader? Is there secrets, and how to start the right way, how to make this work for you. And we're talking about strategies, tools, training, and automation. And honestly, there's one of the best offers I've ever seen. It's not one of, it is the best offer I've ever seen. The folks at the front office got to be grinding their teeth on this one, but this is a great offer for you guys. So stick around and make it well worth your time. Plus, there'll just be hopefully you'll pick up a few golden nuggets of information along the way, not to mention that this is a great offer here. So let's just talk about jumping into this. The trading community is very large. Only a few successful people can make it. You and I probably all heard that number of statistics. 90% of all traders, I see it like this: 90% of all traders lose money. Well, I think that's silly. I think 100% of all traders lose money, but maybe 90% of them give up in the first little while, and that's typical. I've talked to a lot of traders through the years. Hey, they had this X amount of dollars to put in the market. They put it in. They lost part of that, and it's gone, and then they quit trading. And you ask why? What happened to that person? And that's very common. This is more common that people try trading for a while, get a horrific drawdown and quit. So we'll talk about why do people trade. I mean, let's talk about the reasons we have that we put together after years of experience. Not having a trading strategy, obviously. If you just guess, if you just get in, if you then take your money and go to Vegas, if you're just going to bet on black, just do that. You got to have a trading strategy, and then you got to have a patience to learn day trading. We're going to hear that more and more. Not having patience to learn day trading, keep trying different things instead of picking one strategy and staying on top of it, learning how to do it and stick on. If you're always chasing the next new thing, Think about it with hobbies. If I want to be a mountain biker, so you buy a bike and you try it, but gosh, it's hard, and it's hard not because the bike's not working, it's because you're not in shape or you're not used to that, or altitude's killing you. And so you switch to kayaking, and that makes your arms tired, and so you quit that. After you spend money on a kayak, I mean, the same thing with trading. We'll talk more about that. Or you number four, not paper trading long enough to master the strategy. You kind of get part way and think, well, gosh, I won this last 2 trades this morning. I'm ready for the big leagues. Or you have number five, having wrong expectations about indicators and other tools. Again, we're going to talk about all that. So if you've wondered, what are you doing wrong or doing different compared to you've got to, we who want to be successful, if you want to separate yourself from the crowd, you can't do the same thing the crowd's doing. We've got to do something different than the average Joe who comes by and quits trading. We got to do something different. So think about that. We're going to figure out what that is. So reason number one, let's talk about that. Not having a trading strategy. So, what instrument are you going to trade? Do you know? Have you picked one single instrument? Are you going to trade everything if gold doesn't look good? And I'm not saying you can't switch around. You definitely can switch around, but you need to, we would suggest, concentrate on one instrument to learn how to trade that and get good before you branch out to other things. What time frame are you going to go to trade and why? And maybe it's dictated by your schedule. You can't trade, in the morning at the open, or you can trade the afternoon, or you can trade on week, whatever you got to do. And then what is your trade setup? If you don't have an answer, if you can't answer the questions of these as I'm going through these, that's a good sign you don't have a trading strategy. On what basis are you planning to enter long or short? When do you decide to get in? And do you have a supporting technical analysis or a thesis or any idea for your trade entries? Even if you have no technical analysis at all, if it's just a blank, naked screen, you could have a trading strategy. If you don't, if you can't write that down, what is the reason you're getting in? And then have you tried to paper trade it with that? Okay. So a lot of times people get stuff that they purchase something and it doesn't work. But maybe it wasn't the thing that didn't work that great. Maybe it was your learning. Okay. You need to learn. I mean, think about this, and again, you've probably heard this before, but think about a doctor guy. You don't just jump out of high school and say, I'm going to be a doctor now, and then spend a couple of days riding around in an ambulance. You don't say, I want to be a lawyer, represent people, and either prosecute them or trying to defend them on a murder charge. And just after a few episodes of watching SVU, jump into that things. Teachers, same thing. Mechanics. There is nobody that starts out at a level that they can compete at that just starts out with a few days or even weeks. Okay, think about that. So another reason, talk about this. What are the false signals? How are you avoiding those? How do you know what false signals are with your indicator, with your strategy? How do you plan and filter them? How are you going to make sure you don't have false signals? Do you have confirmation steps? Okay, before you enter the trade, are you just willy-nilly getting in? Again, go back to, you might as well go to Vegas. If you're just getting in, if you don't have a confirmation step as why you're getting in, then you're just gambling. Okay, and then once you're in a trade, you have a risk management plan. Are you having stops? Do you know where your target should be? I mean, it's great when you just walk past the casino and you throw a quarter in a slot machine and you win big on that. But how often does that happen? Is that what you're hoping happens? Is you just win big on one trade? So where are you going to put your stops and your target, and how did you determine that? How do you decide where that is? If you don't have answers to these, there's maybe something lacking that we can help you with. So just wanted to keep going through these. So number one, we're still talking about the reason number one. When the trade is going against you, what do? Do you have a way to minimize your loss? If you can you tell when a trade is not in your favor? Can you tell when a trade is going in your favor? And if it's not going in your favor, what do you do? Okay, and how emotionally strong are you? If you have never traded before, and it looks like we got a lot of folks here. I don't know if there's any brand new newbies in here but if a trade goes against you once, it's uncomfortable, doesn't feel great. If it keeps going against you, the trading becomes even harder. It brings up all the emotional baggage from your previous trades, and oftentimes emotional baggage from just your history. Like, oh, I knew I was going to fail at this trade. I've failed at so many other things before. This is just typical. This is what I get what I deserve. So just understand that it's emotionally tough. You've got to be, and you can learn the ins and outs of putting it on a trade relatively easy. It's what's hard is dealing with the emotional part, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And how much are you willing to lose in a trade, or in a day, or in a week, or a month? Do you have a set amount? If you just say, "Oh, I'm going to trade this $10,000 I got as a gift from Nana," and then it's all gone, what did you set that? Would have been much better to set that up and say, "How much can I lose each day as I'm learning how to trade, so that when I come out of this, then I have some left." Okay. And do you have a mentor or a supporting trading group? Are you just doing this all by yourself? Just guessing. Just maybe you watched a few YouTube videos and now you're doing it on your own. Can you imagine your surgeon, you comes and meets you before an important operation, and you ask him like, "Well, how many times have you done this before?" You want to hear, "I've done this 5,000 times. I do 4 of these a day in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, and then I go play golf." You don't want him to say, "I watched a couple YouTube videos and my hands are clean." Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have a mentor, and we're going to talk about that and offer how to help you with that as well. Okay. Again, this is stuff we need to go through. I'm not showing you anything flashy or fancy or beautiful pictures or any videos or even any charts, but we've got to go through this. This is an important issue to go through for traders. So now, reason number 2, not having patience. Okay, nobody comes successful in minutes or days or even weeks. You talk to any trader. Sorry, I'm getting emotional about this. I'm on the end a lot of times. People call me, purchase something from us. I get on the phone with them, and they'll tell me that I've got to make rent in a couple weeks, and I've got X amount of dollars, and so you got to help me out. That that's a recipe for disaster. Okay, because it's going to take a while. It's going to take more than a couple of days, or maybe even a week before they will figure out how to do that. Now, has it happened before in the history of the world? Sure, absolutely. But that's a short term. Again, that's pulling that handle after you throw a quarter in the slot machine on your way out of the casino and hitting it big. But no trader becomes successful in minutes or days. You've got to give yourself time. You got to have patience. Again, I've talked about the other skilled professions. Think about the Olympics, competing at that level. When you put a trade on, you're going against the very best of the best. You're going against everyone who didn't wash out of trading, and you're up against them competitively. And it's not just a medal on the line. It is your money, your cash. Okay. So it takes time. You got to be commitment, and you got to practice. That's all there is to it. Uh, I don't know if you've seen anybody, I always use this example all the time because professional skaters make it look effortlessly. Looks like it doesn't take any effort at all to get out there and skate. And that's because they've practiced thousands, tens of thousands of hours out there and make it look easy. And when I get on the skate, I can get around to the skating rink, but I can't do a triple camel jump with the toe land. Okay, it takes practice. Now, could I learn how to do that? Absolutely. I feel confident if I put enough time into it, I can learn to do that. But I know I'm going to have to put some work into it. Same thing with trading. Okay, so advanced tools. We have indicators, we have bots. Any of those automation can speed up your learning. Okay, we can make the curve not as steep, but we can't take the curve away. You need to understand and master the trading strategy. Okay, all right. So yeah, successful traders, like how long did it take for them to succeed? I don't know any traders. I listen to a lot of trading podcasts. I'm not just I don't just trade for a living. It's also a hobby and a passion of mine. And so when I'm not trading, I like to listen to oftentimes trading podcasts. And they're always, I like to hear the details of how they got into it. And there's very few times have I ever heard somebody say, "Oh, I got into it, I put money in my account, and the next day I pulled the trigger and it went crazy for me." There are a few of those stories. Oftentimes it goes around cryptocurrencies, and so there are a few of those guys out there that do it. And it happens once in a while, but that's, again, there are also people who put a quarter in a slot machine and won tens of thousands of dollars. So is that going to be you? Is that going to be me? Probably not. Okay. How much money did they lose before they started making money? I'll tell you this right now, and I emphasize this a lot. You will lose money trading. There's no if just that's like telling a medical student you are going to have to study. You're going to have to memorize things. Same thing with trading. You are going to lose money, then you'll lose less money, and then you'll break even, and then you'll start making a little bit, and then you'll start making a little bit more. That's just inevitable. Now, how long that takes, how long you get through that practice, that process is basically up to you. But just there's nobody that trades that hasn't lost money at their beginning. Okay. And again, a lot of people quit at that point. They just start losing money and they like, I can't do this. I'm done. Okay. And how long did they paper trade? How long did you try this and make sure you're confident in your ability? The difference between paper trading and live trading with real money is huge because you throw in that huge psychological aspect of that. So that just but if you paper trade, at least you know what's going on, the ins and outs. You want to paper trade and make all your mistakes on paper. Like I still do this every once in a while, but like going long when you wanted to go short, that's just a silly mistake that you should make on paper before you go real. I've also done that and made money doing that, by the way, just so you know. Okay. So another thing, people keep trying different things. Okay. Again, I talked about, hey, if you switch this, just keep switching hobbies because you want to do something but you need to give yourself patience. Okay. Keep trying different things. All successful traders spend a lot of time learning one instrument and one chart time frame with one trading strategy. I'll tell you something that Bruce Lee said. I don't fear a man who's learned, does 1,000 different kicks. I fear the man who's learned one kick and practiced it 1,000 times. Okay, so that's kind of my strategy: is get good at one trade, trade one instrument on one time frame, and get good at that. Okay, if you keep switching up, if all of a sudden let's say 99% of my trades are in the ES futures market, and once in a while I'll switch to some other futures market. But if I suddenly switch to some weird derivative thing, let's say cryptocurrency, that I don't know really much about or don't have a good feeling for it, I'm starting brand new over as if I'm on day one. Okay, if I keep changing and throwing new strategies in there, oh, what if you do the draw a line from the high previous day to the low of the previous day, and then when it crosses it, then you take a trade. I could do that, but that's a different strategy that I'm not used to, and so I need to start at the very beginning, watch that, paper trade that for a while, and get a grasp on that thing. And there's nothing wrong with changing. Just realize that you're starting over with day one. You are losing time, and then if you fail, then you're probably likely to quit. How many times can you fail trying something before you quit is the question. Okay. So another reason, not paper trading long enough, you need to do it for a good amount of time. And how much that is, how long that is, that's up to each individual person. I wouldn't say anything to anybody. Um, but I have in my head that you want to get 30 really good positive winning trades under your belt if you've been paper trading. Now, does that take 30 days or does that take 30 weeks? It just depends on you, but I would say that you need to have a good track record of making that happen until you're virtually profitable. Now, and if you trade 5 times and you lose 20 out of it, you're not getting 30 trades in. Okay, just don't jump into a live account before you're actually ready. All right. The nice thing about nowadays compared to the old days when I started trading, didn't have the micros where I could lose $10 or $15 on a trade and live to tell. That was most folks can recover from a $15 loss. Back when I first started, if I suffered a loss, it was $150 out of my pocket within seconds sometimes. So that's a tough learning curve right there. So paper trading is a great strategy to do that. Okay. So again, we suggest learn one trading strategy with and master that, paper trade that, and be very patient with that. It's an important step. So don't keep jumping around just because you want to hit that the lotto on that. Okay. So another reason, having the wrong expectations about indicators, any other tools. All right. Now, please understand that BuySide Global, we provide indicators and bots, but we have to set the expectations correctly. It's an unfortunate fact. There's no shortcuts to make money without learning day trading strategies. So many times, again, I've talked about this. We get people on the phone, Dave, I just want to take your bot and just push the button, leave the house, go to the Bahamas, come back and have a pile of money waiting for me out of my CD player. I just want to print money and have that pay for my whole trip. Obviously, that's people don't say that exactly, but they very similar. They just want something to do it and they don't have to deal with it. And that's not how that does. You'd be better off again going to Vegas, putting money on something and walking away and coming back and see if they made any money on that. Okay. That's just an unfortunate fact. You have to learn day trading strategies, even to run a bot. You have to know what it's doing behind there. There's just no shortcuts. Unfortunate fact number two, there's no magic tool. There's nothing that you could do to make money without learning day trading strategies. Okay, there's not something out there. Again, you want to just hand your money to somebody, just give it to a hedge fund or invest it in something. That's what you're asking for. You're asking to just invest in something and just have it put away and have somebody else make money for you. But that's not going to work, and you need to understand that going in. Okay. All right. So there's a fact. Okay. All tools, indicators, automations are designed to enhance your ability and speed up your day trading journey. Okay. They're not designed to replace the necessity to learn. All right. Now, here's some uncomfortable stuff to say, and I need to hear this just as much as you do. How many times you bought an indicator? Or in fact, you know what? I'd love you to type this in. If you could find just relax. If you've been taking notes, relax from taking notes. Find the keyboard. Find the chat part, not the chat, the questions section in the GoToWebinar, the dashboard area. There's a place that says questions. I'm not going to ask for personal information, but I'd love to hear, or maybe just give me a dollar sign. How much money have you spent on indicators or signals or some other system that didn't work? Just type in $1 for less than $2 signs. Type in a dollar sign, or if you don't put actual numbers, I'm not going to judge anybody or anything. Or even just a yes. Let's do that. Let's do a yes. If you've spent money on an indicator, signal, or something and it did not work, type in a yes. Or if you want to put in X number of monies, you put in there. We're getting yeses. I'm getting a lot of yeses. Oh my gosh, I'm getting some number. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. That someone put a number in of amount that they've spent on indicators. Now, I'll wait a couple seconds for a few more folks. If you want to put in there, I'd love to participate. And again, I'd love to have this back and forth. Picture me just talking in a corner of my trading room. I can see out the window, but I'm not in front of an audience. I can't see out there, but I appreciate your feedback. If you've been in a trading room you paid for, signals you paid for, an indicator you paid for, a trading guru that paid for, and it did not work. Now, if it's working great, that's great. That's you can join the ranks of the BuySide Global folks as well. But if you put money in, it didn't come out for you, I'd love to just see that, me, yes, actually done trials. Someone didn't cost me. Yeah, some groups. Yeah, there's people that spend tens of thousands of dollars and willing to spend more. I mean, they're out there, but there are people that want to make this successful. They're willing to do it. They just haven't had the right success just yet. So, appreciate your participation here. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of harsh truth, and it's going to hurt a little bit. It's possible, and maybe I should phrase it as a question. Is it possible? And I'm suggested it is. It wasn't necessarily the indicator as it was you didn't know how to use it. Okay? You didn't know the trading strategy behind it. You got it, threw it in there, and didn't know that, whatever strategy that went along with that. You didn't give yourself enough time or enough patience. I'm not saying it didn't work, but I'm saying that it's possible that before you decide that it didn't work, it wasn't the indicator, it was you. Okay, it might have been your lack of ability to use it and know how to use it in that situation. Okay, you didn't know the trading strategy. Maybe there was a trading strategy behind using it that you never got the information for, or the bot, or whatever tool it was. It didn't fail you. you failed it. I'm suggesting that as an idea. Okay. Now, I mean, once you learn a trading strategy, let me suggest this to you. Once you learn a trading strategy, you're going to be able to make money. Okay. You just need the right tools and you need to train on how to use them. There's no magic, like I mentioned that already. There's no magic in trading. Okay. You just need to fix whatever it is that's lacking. And I'm suggesting right now the lack was a lack of training on your behalf. Okay. So the key takeaway to this is you need to learn trading. Without learning trading, there's no shortcut. There's no magic tool that's going to make that. There's no magic money making machine to replace the need for training. And once you learn, it's going to be easy to pull money out of the market because now you have a strategy. You have an edge, whether it's a bot or a tool, an indicator, a group, a guru, whatever it is that you're using. You've got to master the technique first before you can make money. I'm just suggesting that to you, that it wasn't that whatever you tried wasn't the failure. It was you. You were the weak link. And that goes for me as well. My my biggest losses, my biggest loser days, and I don't have a ton of them, but everybody takes a loss. Those days are because of me. It either lack of discipline, or I got greedy, or I could make a long list, but I know the thing in my all my trading. It's not my internet connection. It's not my broker. It's not even the president tweeting things out. It's not the Fed. It's not me fighting the trend. It's not the signals. It's not my platform NinjaTrader. It's not BuySide Global. It's me. Okay. So once you learn that, that's half the battle. Once I realized that I was the one that was losing me the most money, it was the guy in the mirror that was the problem, not my fiber optic. That solved a lot of problems because I could fix me. I can't fix the president tweeting. I can't fix the internet connections, but I can fix me, and that's what we're here to help you with. Okay, so that's an important part. You understand that part. Okay. So another fact: indicators designed to visually display. They're showing the market activity insight. It's something you shouldn't be able to find. That's why it's called an indicator. It's because it's pointing something out that your naked eye on a naked chart can't see. That's all that is. Okay, it's not a trading strategy. Yes, you use those to help develop your trading strategy, but you could have BuySide Global. We have a bright colored dot show up. That's an indicator. It's not a trading strategy. You have to understand the difference in indicators and trading strategies, but you can build a trading strategy using one or more trading indicators. You can use that dot showing up as part of a trading strategy plan. Okay, so let me give an quick example. So there's recipes out there. You could pull a recipe out of your mom's old recipe file box or a recipe book, or get on YouTube, get on the internet. You can watch a person make something delicious. Let's use bread. I like to bake bread, and you know, but the first time I ever made bread, did it taste exactly like the person on YouTube I watched do it? No, it didn't. It didn't taste exactly the same. I had my own little quirks that I didn't things exactly perfectly right. Okay, so but as I got better at making bread, it tastes better. You need to practice it over and over again. Just because you followed a recipe, even, you're not going to get exactly the same roots, your same results. Your yeast may be different. You may have different type of flour. The humidity is different. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go in. So just using that as an example to show it takes time to learn a new skill. You know, type in, you know what? Just give yourself a big hug. If the first time you tried to ride a bike, you were able to ride off into the sunset and did a great job and maybe won first place in the local bike competition. You and I both know that didn't happen, right? No one learns a new skill the first few minutes. Okay, you know what it is. If it's playing what's the most simple instrument there is, the drums, harmonica. Uh, I want to say the Jew harp, but I don't know if was that culturally appropriate to say that. You can type that in. Somebody please correct me on that. Is that still? I is cautious to say that, but so there's no shortcut to life or in trading. Okay, but we're here to help you. Okay, now I've showed you the problem. I've exposed the problem, and the problem is us, gentlemen, men and women. Okay, that's the problem is us. It's not the market. It's not our lack of, you know, X, Y, or Z. It's us. There's no shortcut to life nor to trading, but we're here to give you the tools. We're going to give you the training. We're going to help you. But if you have the commitment and the patience to keep trying, long after the average Joe gives up, we're here for you. Okay. Um, let's talk about why day trading always works. Let's talk about why does it actually work? There are people out there that make a good living off of day trading. Why is that possible? Well, it's possible because futures and stock markets are very predictable based on technical analysis. Not even on technical analysis, it's just based on re- patterns. There's patterns out there that are very predictable. Okay. Market price movements have patterns and they repeat most of the time. Enough of the time that you can make money on that. Are you going to lose money as well? Yes, you will. But if you can get 5 trades out of 10 to go your way, and the other 5 don't go your way but don't cause a huge loss, you can make money at that. There are repeatable and predictable patterns to choose from, okay? So how do you get started? Walt Disney said the best way to get started is just to get started. So in day trading, there's just 2 types of markets, okay? There's a trending market where it moves either up or down, and there's choppy markets. And trending is all in the eye of the beholder. If it's just trending up 4 ticks, that's a trend for 4 ticks. If you're thinking only need 100 ticks for it to be a trend, then that's your trend is 100 ticks. But it's all in the eye of the beholder. So if a trendy market's moving up or down, or it's choppy, just sideways with no direction. In other words, choppy means it's the moves aren't big enough for you to call it a trend. Okay, so maybe if you're wanting to get 15 points out of the S&P every day, but it's only offering 4 or 5, you're going to just call that choppy and not trade. Okay? There's people that would love to make 4 points a day on the S&P. So it's just kind of an eye of the beholder, but you need to understand there's just 2 types of markets, okay? So first thing you need to do is learn about trends. They don't continue all day. Again, there are trending days, but typically we don't have that. And even on trending days, you're going to get a little bit movement both ways. The challenge is to find out when to get in starts. When does the trend start and when does it end? And we're going to show you the how. Okay, and trends don't go in a straight line. The S&P, or I'm very confident saying this. There's no market that just keeps moving up every with a time increment that moves up a certain amount every time, and it just does that for every day, all day long. It just never happens. The S&P, like I said, is what I'm make my bread and butter on, and it'll give you 3 or 4 point ticks up and then 3 or 4 point ticks back down. Now overall, it's going to head to a certain direction for a certain amount of time, but there's no way that it goes in a straight line. Okay. And you need to find the lower lows and the higher highs to master entry and exits. If you have that, boom, you've got it, right? So if you're starting, okay, yeah, today. So somebody just say today was all down, except I made my profits on up. Had a really nice long run up on the S&P, and it wasn't all the way all down. There are markets that were probably all down, but on the S&P, I saw a nice little break up, jumped in the trade, thanks to the BuySide global indicators, and it was all put in my pocket, money in my pocket, plus some for tomorrow. So I'm ahead of the curve. In fact, I might not trade tomorrow because of the profits today, but that's a different story. So how to get started? If you're starting, we want to recommend trade only when the market has trending movements, and skip trading when the market has no clear direction of movements. Really quickly, you'll hear about this more. Well, not right now, but really quickly. Um, the what was I? Oh, yeah. As day traders, our greatest strength that we have is not trading. Okay, that's one of the strengths we have as a retail traders. So in other words, there's guys that go to work every day and they're being paid by a large institution, paid well to trade for them, and they probably have profit targets each and every maybe day, every hour. I don't know. They have to take trades. We don't have to. Okay, so I'm saying skip trading when the market has no clear direction. You don't have to trade. Don't pull the trigger. Sometimes you make money by not losing money. Okay, so I want to introduce you to a strategy. Okay, I'll just introduce you a supply and demand trend trading strategy. This will work whether you get our indicator or not, but what's called micro trends. Now, you've heard this expression, trade, the trend is your friend. All right. But which trend? The last 2 seconds trend, the last 2 minutes trend, the last 2 hours trend. So let's look for micro trends. Uh, They're the most repeatable behavior in any financial instrument. Anything you're trading during the day is micro trends, and you can catch swings both sides on any given day. So let me introduce this to a trading strategy, okay? A package that we're going to offer you. This is a bundle. This is what we're offering, talking about. You're going to complete the day trading strategy training, okay, on a weekly basis. There'll be some videos. There'll be some one-on-one stuff, okay? You're going to be given all the indicators, all the tools you need to learn. Again, there's some learning. Not saying you can just jump right in, but if you've already got some under your belt, some training under your belt, this will make it easy. You can use these indicators and have a very short period of learning curve. And then you're going to have access to a trading room. We're going to give you access to a trading room where our professionals are able to take trades and talk about the indicators and talk about the signals and train you how to use those. And you can watch live trades. You're never going to hear me say, go ahead and follow those guys. And let's be honest, I'm one of the guys. Another great trader, Matt, is in the room, and he's an awesome trader. And you can watch him and learn from him and myself. If I've got anything to help, throw in whatever nugget I can. You'll access to a trading room, and now you're not trading by yourself anymore. You got, if nothing else, oh, those guys said there's some announcement coming up in a minute. Maybe I shouldn't trade. So there's things like that, or hey, they talked about this principle. I need to look this up more and learn some more. Okay. You're going to have indicators, including this training package, to be able to detect and trade microtrends. The BuySide Global Demand, Supply and Demand Indicator, I'll talk about that. I'll show you that. The BuySide Global Order Flow Zones Indicator, I'll show you that. The Levels Indicator, a price action pattern. I'm going to go over those really fast with you guys, okay? Because I want to get to be able to show you this actually in live action, so we'll get to that. But this is an example of the Supply Demand Indicator. I hope you can see my cursor up here. These areas of brown colored areas are where the sellers are in, and notice the price went up into the sellers and came right back down. The green section, if you've probably already guessed, is the buyers. Notice how the price pushed down through the buyers, got a new group of buyers right here that pushed the price up. You can take trades based on nothing other than knowing where these buyers and sellers are at, because it's basically supply and demand, bears and bulls. Would you take if you got this signal right here, would you take a short into here? You probably wouldn't and probably shouldn't, because there's buyers right there. Now, would you take a short down here? Heck yeah, because I don't have any buyers I'm going to run into. It's going to go down here for a while. This is a great indicator, and we use that every day. I use that all the time to make trading decisions, along with, and this is just a brief introduction. You've probably got questions about this, but along with this next one, this is the BuySide Global Order Flow Zones. Basically what it does is it takes order flow information and makes it into a color. So you don't have to worry about, hey, where's the delta? Where's my offers? Where's my bids? What's going on? It just closes out the candle and paints it for you, so you know that, hey, I was red, which obviously means down. That means the sellers were in control. Yellow means that statistically it's a tie, and blue means the buyers are in control. So you jump in on a blue candle and then you ride that thing up. Oh, darn it, now it's yellow. It's going to go down against me. No, there's some blue, little choppy right here that we talked about, chop and trends, but I don't see any red, so I'm going to stay in this trend. It also shows you a nice little support zone down here for your trailing stop. And then the market moves up, and the market moves up, and the market moves up. There's no reason to get out until you see this red, and you're like, okay, maybe now I should put my stop down here where the trailing stop is, or right here when it turns red. Just get out of the trade. You can always get another trade. That would be a nice little trade to get in. And maybe if you want to go short here, you got in. There's a couple points for you right there as well. But this is the order flow zones. You can tell what happens in the market by order flow. That's what runs the market. So, and then we got the BuySide Global Levels Indicator. I should have shut this down a little bit more, but there's an example of a daily level up. Now, sometimes it's the previous day's high. The levels are demonstrably impactful to the market, and they're set there based again on order flow and volume of things that have happened previous. And you know how the market loves to return to something for whatever reason. That's what you'll have. You'll have all three of those indicators in your package, and we'll teach you how to use those things in the the training room. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of diversion from that. What we're talking about. These are indicators because what they do is they look for chart patterns. Okay. There's folks out there that make their living just reading these chart patterns and reacting to them. It's just hard to kind of spot them all the time. For example, this is a double top. This market pushed up here and came back down again. Guess what happens when it pushes up and hits that spot again? Typically goes back down. That's called a double top. Okay, double bottom down here. It came down and hit this, went back up, and guess what's going to happen when it hits it again? It's going to push back up. And so people see those and make good money off that all the time. But the hot problem is seeing those. It's hard to scan the charts all the time and find those. But the BuySide Global Price Action Pattern Indicator is going to find these for you. Okay, and it just pops them out. It just all of a sudden there it is. You're like, oh, I can see that now, and it gives you a signal here to go long or to go short. You jump on those things. Okay, that's a kind of a little bonus thing. Let me show you another example. Here's a rising and falling wedge. See, there's a wedge right there, and when it breaks out of the wedge, typically Bob's your uncle. Just go crazy right here. Same thing right here is the wedge. It's following the wedge, and then it breaks out. Bob's your uncle, just drops down through there. And if you were just trading, if you're looking at these candles pretty closely, not really realizing, oh my gosh, there's a nice chart pattern, there's a wedge, you're not going to see that. But this will you can actually have it do an alert for you, make a sound for you. So there's a pretty intense to see those. It's just nice to have them pop out. So there's another one, head and shoulders. This represents the head, and these are shoulders. Typically, you can see those, and then how it drops back out. And when it breaks above when the market breaks up about what people are expecting it to do, that's when big money is made on that. So let me introduce it. This is the supply and demand trend trading strategy package. Okay, so it's going to need everything you need to get started. Okay, you're going to get some hands-on trading. Okay, you can have trading strategy. Okay, some of the hands-on is going to be some videos that you're going to get to watch. Others are going to be maybe some phone calls, just whatever we need to do to get you up and running and have access to the training class. You can have access to the indicators, and you'll receive help on how to best use those. You have the best strategies out there to make money as quick as possible. We want, again, when I told you, you lose money, lose a little less, then you break even, then you make some, and then you make more. We want to get you through that as quick as we possibly can, but that takes work on your part as well. And you need some tools. All the tools and automation you need to speed up your day trading. And you can have live access to our trading and trading room. Okay. So let's talk about money, because that's what it's all about. Before I give you these numbers, and you can see them right there, I need you to understand this is going to be an investment in yourself. All right. Whether you're going to sell popsicles at the hot baseball game, on the local little league game, whether you're gonna get online and get an online business distributing things, whether you're going to start a delivery service, you want to become a teacher, uh, a doctor, whatever it is, you're going to have to put some money into it. Okay. Same thing with trading. You're going to have to put some money into a brokerage account, maybe upgrade your computer, yada yada. You know all this stuff. Well, what I'm saying is think about spending some money on yourself, getting yourself better educated in how to do this. Okay. All right. So regular price, if I add up all those prices, that's $2,300. So you get a hands-on training is almost $700. You get the supply and demand indicator. People, if someone bought this yesterday, they paid $500 for the supply and demand. They paid $500 for the order flow zones. They paid for the levels of another $500. Great amount of product for a decent amount of dollar. Okay, would be a fair purchase. $500 on a tool that could make you 10, 15 points every day on the ES. That's a great investment in yourself. Okay, so but they have allowed us to do this today of a special offer. Okay, so in other words, so the special is $1,400 today, except it's not. Okay, this is the greatest discount I've ever seen. Instead of saying $1,400, which is 55% off, they've gone 75% off. You get the bot. Okay, the BuySide Global Supply and Demand Trading Bot, which I didn't even really bring up. It just does everything we talk about with all the rules. It just does it automatically, and you'll get training on how to use this. You talk about it in the room. You have the 4 indicators, and you get the hands-on training, the video training that we talked about, plus some one-on-one phone time if you need it. Okay, all that stuff for $865. Okay. Now, $865, and I'm not saying that's nothing. I'm not saying you go, that's just inconsequential. That's a pretty good chunk of money out of your pocket. But look what you're getting for that. Look what even the training alone, how, again, people spend tens of thousands of dollars buying indicators and packages and mentorship and gurus that don't seem to work. Listen, you're here because whatever you've been trying before isn't working. Is that fair? Whatever you've tried before isn't working. If it was working, maybe your curiosity, but why would you spend an hour doing this? This is a great offer. You got to go to buysideglobal.com to get this. Let me go to our website. This is my last slide before I get to the demo. I want to do a demo for you guys in just a second, but this price is only good until tomorrow. Okay, you need to pull the trigger on this. Get yourself some help. Stop donating your money to the market. Stop writing your broker's checks, wiring the money, ACHing them, and take advantage of this offer today. Okay, that's enough of that. Let me get over to a demo for you guys, and I'm going to turn you over to Rob. Rob, are you there?
I'm here.
Perfect. Let me turn the screen over to you. Folks, you're in for a treat. Rob's going to show you this live and a demonstration that you guys can put your teeth into. Let me get you to Rob here. I'm making you presenter, Rob.
I am making myself, yes.
Okay, there you go. Yep,
All right.
We can see your screen. There you go.
You can see my chart?
Yep, got your chart.
All right. It's good to see everyone. I don't normally join the webinars, but today we are going to talk about a little bit on the automation side and trading bot. The reason we want to talk about the trading more than indicators or the bot, we have seen time and time again with the customer base, the customers who succeeded, who are making through the transition easier, are the ones who spend enough time to learn the trading strategy, learn how it works. Instead of give me the indicator, give me the signals, I'm going to trade every signal and hope it works. That goes for the same thing for trading bot as well. Trading bot, a lot of assumptions that people made is like, give me the bot, give me the settings, I'm going to run it, I need to be making money. One important aspect they don't realize is that trading bot is an automation tool. It takes the information, how do you want to trade, what are the strategies you want to enter, what are the risk management, where do you want to place your stops, what are the filters, everything put together is a trading strategy. It automates, even though it automates everything, you need to tell the bot, like your assistant, for example, enter here, filter this, do that. You got to give the complete instructions. You won't be able to do it until you know the trading strategy in terms of, if you can't, the best way to learn is to do the paper trading, is to start with learning the strategy by itself. And the other issues that we have seen is people assume the indicator and the signals as a way to trade. Best example is like our customer base split by almost 50%, both sides are blue chip indicator. If I ask David about blue chip, he can rave about it, how much he loves blue chip. I think it depends upon how you use it. Do you know how to use it? That's what I'm going to go through a little bit in terms of the demo, in terms of the strategy, little bit. When you every indicator is going to show you something that you can't see in the market with the naked eye. That could be in terms of the moving averages, or like a highest volume, concentrated volumes, or like a breakouts, or like support and resistance levels. There are so many information we can grasp out of the market to show you fast enough so that you can make your decision. There are so many ways people trade. Some people trade in the morning, afternoon time frame, but trading strategy wise, everyone have the different ones. I think if you are going to learn something, I would recommend something you start with a strategy, learn it, understand first of all what is the basis for the trading strategy, and then how to enter, how to place a stop loss, what I'm going to expect, how long I can expect. A lot of questions are around it. That is one strategy that we're talking about, supply demand trend strategy. I think that's the best way to, if you are getting started, I think that's the best way to getting started. The reason is that it's have simpler rules compared to other things we can bring it to you in terms of on this even choppy sideways market. There are opportunity to make money, but that are a little more complex for you to grasp initially. But you are starting out, I think the trending based strategy is the most simpler way to get started. And I want to show a few things, but before I wanted to attach any indicators, any bar to the chart, I want you to see in terms of the start with the naked chart. I trade 90% of the time on trend basis. There are two ways you can do trend basis strategy. One, purely based on the chart, purely based on the data, insights, either it's a supply and demand or like a moving averages or like a breakout trend line. There's so many ways. But my personal experience that worked for me is combining the technical analysis with the fundamental analysis. 90% of traders don't use that. I think definitely Dave don't. I'm not sure. Dave, do you follow fundamental or no?
Do I follow? Who's that again?
I'm asking you, do you follow fundamental analysis or just technical analysis?
I don't. I just do technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, fundamental is something it worked for me all the time. Let me ask you, I'm going to show you a few things, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yesterday, we had a FOMC meeting. How many people followed up what happened during the meeting and after the meeting? All right, I think I didn't get a response, but most of the time, I think the fundamental is just what is happening in the market, what is the big news, what is the fear factor going on, what is the good news is going on, is it going to drive the single stock or the whole market? That is the fundamental analysis. FOMC meetings are typically drives the whole market, not just single stock. So for the past almost like 7 to 8 FOMC meetings, the next day after FOMC meeting, I had a great luck. I think I had to say, including today. In terms of the reason is that the next day after FOMC meeting, it will never be the choppy market. It will never be the choppy market. Either it will be up or down. You can expect the movement. As a day trader, we don't really care about whether I want it up or down. I want movement either way. I don't really care. All I want to is find the trend, which direction the trend is going to go, and then find the entry that I'm going to start on, and then let it go as long as it goes until the market reverses. As simple as that. There are so many ways you can do that. I can show things you can trade even without indicator, but today let's talk about a little bit in terms of the market. Here, I'm in Chicago, so that means 8:30 is my market open. That's why I started the market from here. You can see one of market does not go in a straight line. Market never go in a straight line. Always it goes in higher highs and lower lows. I'm not sure how many people know that, but trade based on those. Even before getting into indicators, I'm going to show you a few things. This is what I expect in terms of, I try to see if the previous highs, like a day open, if it is, okay, right here. One second, let me get my cursor so you can see. Market goes like a higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows. This is the clear way you can see in the market, anytime the market is moving. It's the same pattern on the reverse side. Higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows. It goes in a pattern. All you have to wait for some kind of initial momentum. I'm going to show you how with supply and demand indicator. But once you see, your challenge is to find a previous entry. You will never go long on the higher highs. Reason why? Because every time the higher highs, market is going to pull back and then hit the lower lows and then go up. That means you're going to hit stopped out right here every time. You have to catch the bottom. 100% of the time you won't be able to. I can guarantee you that one. but you have to wait for one confirmation signal, and then we may be entering right here. Then you have to keep in the market. The way you need to look at most of the time, traders look at the market just like this, too close in terms of, and then trying to trade. The way I trade, I look at overall day, where the day is different levels, where the market moves. I want to see which direction it's trending, how long it's going. Let's start with the supply and demand indicator. That's something you can clearly see the pattern visually. All right, so let's look a little bit. You can see every time the higher highs are noted by the new supply zone, lower lows are marked by the demand. But one common pattern on a trending market is in this case trending up. Every time the demand zone is created, it is not interrupted. See this? It's not broken. But every time the supply zone created, it was broken immediately. Supply zone created, broken, and then demand created. Supply zone created, broken, demand created. Supply created, broken, demand. You can see the clear pattern. This is the excellent way you can recognize the initial trend formation. You can take a trade after just two pattern repetition, and then try to find the entry until once you see the demand formed, you can enter right here. On the reverse side, if you have any questions while I'm going, please feel free to type it in the questions or chat. I can pause and then explain a little bit more. This is the training we will go through in detail during the whole micro trend strategy using supply and demand, the package. Not only we are going to show you how to trade manually, also we'll show you how to automate it as well. I'm going to show you the bot as well, because most of the time bot is where I start to analyze, to know my levels and everything, and then I can go from there. Again, once it crosses the boundary, I think pulled back from my my trend, just I need to wait for the reverse pattern. In this case, reverse pattern is this: once the supply created, it's not interrupted. Now the demand zones are getting created, blocked, created, blocked, created, blocked. You can see the clear pattern in terms of the trend using supply and demand. All right, so there are so many ways you can detect using supply and demand. I know a lot of customers also use blue chip. The biggest mistake they make is they take trades on every single blue chip indicator. That's completely wrong. I try to explain them a lot of times. You need to start with a strategy and then find out how can I use it. So let me remove this indicator. Same strategy I'm going to show you in terms of using blue chip. Okay. All right. Can you see the pattern in terms of every time the blue chip marked and then keep on creating one after the other? There is no downtrend confirmation here. But once it started on the other side, they see the clear trend here. When the market is going down, you should be ignoring anything the opposite direction. Why? These are pullbacks. Like I mentioned before, higher highs and lower lows. The lower the higher highs is a little bit stronger, is going to create signal, but you should not be trading because you need to follow the trend. The simple strategy, if I had to explain in one single line, trade with the trend, avoid trading the pullbacks. Don't assume pullbacks are the market reversals until it completely reversed. Like you said, here market reversed, but we need to wait till the whole this flat region crosses and then start coming down. Okay, so this is the difference between trading based on indicator but trading based on strategy. Let me go back to my favorite supply and demand indicator, because I don't trade without supply and demand. Okay, so now I have supply and demand, but how do I know when exactly I will know whether the pullback is complete? I can enter the long in this trend direction. That's when we have other indicators to use. Now I have the strategy. Strategy is to find the trend, trade the trend, enter, and after a couple of confirmation, I'm going to enter. Order flow zones is going to give me the confirmation for my entry. Okay, how? Because if you look at closely, I know there's a trend. In this case, all the trends, blues and reds, even sharpier. All I need to wait for in terms of once it's pullback, I need to wait till the first blue bar. Every pullback, first blue bar. Every pullback, first blue bar. Then you need to always place the stops below. We will go through all these things in the training in detail. I just want to show you. Also, before running out, I know we are running late. I just wanted to speed up a little bit. Let me show you in terms of the bot itself, how you can, I know there are some customers who are in our trading right now, who are looking at the bot. Let's see. I'm going to remove, okay, I'm going to keep the supply and demand so that you can see it works. So I'm going to go to strategies, automated bot. That is, okay, here's one more thing. When it comes to trading strategy, most of the time, a lot of traders assume, oh, give me the bot, give me the settings, I'm going to run it. It's not that straightforward because bot is automation tool. You need to pick the template, pick your settings, pick your strategy to enter, strategy to stop loss, strategy to target, strategy to exit, different for every day based on the day. Today, I know that yesterday was FOMC day. We had a great movement even after the meeting. That means I expect a lot of movement today. I am determined about my trading strategy. Even the dates they started early morning, yesterday evening, I knew what I'm going to use. I use this particular settings almost like previous three FOMC meeting next day. So I'm going to use the same setting here. You can see it is nothing but there's a section here. Look for the trend. Get the confirmation from the order flow zones on a 3-minute time frame trend. Look at the 5-minute time frame trend. If both trends are long, then okay, consider it a trading entry. Also, I don't want to enter when this demand is far away my current price. We'll go through the settings a little bit more in detail, but the most important point is you need to start with trading strategy. If you start with indicator or a bot, it doesn't work. You need to start with understanding trading strategy, how to trade manually, then you can automate it. So in this case, I'll show you in terms of all I'm doing is going to have stop loss is based on supply and demand, meaning I'm going to use the stop loss demand zones as supply zones as my automated stop loss levels. And then the profit, I'm not going to have profit target levels. I'm going to have trade entry, market entry, and then the stop loss at the supply demand zone and no target. Why? I wanted to let the trend run as long as it runs until the market reverses, hit my stop loss. So my strategy is to exit based on stop loss. So that's what it means. At the same time, I wanted to hit my maximum loss. It's not the maximum loss, it's just to filter out those confirmation the trend. And then let's see, I'm going to show you in terms of what it does. I'm going to show you both good and bad way. Okay, I think did I enable it? I think I enabled it. Okay, all right. So you can see all the green dots are the one profitable trade. All the red, I think you can see some reds here. You see those things are like trade didn't work. I will explain you why both. You can see once you entered, all the red dots mean where the bot kept the stop loss. I told the bot start with the trend, make sure the 3-minute trend and 5-minute trends are long and long or short, agree with both direction, place the trend, and then exit when the market hits back my stop. So what happened when I had my trade? Look at just this particular trade. I think I need to video a little bit. All right. So we entered here based on this demand zone and then kept your stop loss right here below the demand zone. When the market moved, bot automatically moved the stop loss from here to here. Again, new zone created, moved my stop. When the market came back and hit my stop loss, we exited. Same way, I think in the trending market, still the trend is going on. So bot took another entry. Again, stop loss was here. When the market moves up, just bot is moving the stop loss to zone to zone to zone. until the market reversed. So this is trading with the trend. If you can now look at the ones failed as well, you need to understand why it failed. The best way to learn anything by looking at your failed trades. That's when you can be able to find out what I could have done better. So I think it did great in terms of it knew that downtrend. It took the short position. It took the short position. I think every time the bot took the short position, it is with the trend. It took with the trend. Can anyone tell me what went wrong in these three trades? If anyone can answer right now, I'll give a special discount with or anything. I just want to see here if you are trading long enough, by looking at this, you will know the answer why, even though I'm trading along with the trend, why here it didn't work, why it worked here. This is what you're going to learn. You need to analyze the trades that worked, the trade didn't work. If you can't analyze, can't understand, that's when you'll hit your wall. So I didn't get any answer. I'm going to go and then give the reason. The pullbacks are beyond my previous zones. If you look at here before, all my I'm placing my stops below my long stops below my demand zone, long below my demand zone, everything, right? But here the trend is perfectly going fine. But on the reverse back, every time we entered, the pullback is stronger than the trend movement. The trend is entering here, pullbacks are stronger. Look at the pullbacks, how much pullback happened. So we are having a pullback stronger until, but eventually the trend getting stronger and stronger. Look what happened. We entered the trade, it took a huge trade here. So, but when I'm trading manually, it's very easy to see using the indicators what is the point we should be entering the trade, because like I mentioned, it's always lower lows and higher highs. But you know the trend, you're gonna know I'm going to take the short position, right? You know the short position, but you can enter the short position here. Why? The pullback, because every movement you're gonna see the pullback. There is no straight line. That means if you enter on here, you're gonna lose. That means even though market going down, wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback on the first red bar. You can take it. If you take every pullback you can take on the first red bar or a zone, you'll be fine. I think those are things we'll go through in detail during the training. But this is just with the bot. I think I want to show you the settings as well one more time, because I know some of the customers here who have the bot, they always ask us the settings. I'm going to show you. So let me show. Let's see how much money we lost on this downtrend, the bad trades as well as the good trades. So let's quickly. It's the same setting that I used almost all past 6 FMFC trades. Okay, so let's look at the trades. Look at here the pattern. We had two good trades because our strategy was simple. We're gonna find the trend, trade with the trend, and then make sure the stop loss is always on the level on the stop loss zone. Sorry, supply and demand zone. We had 5 continuous losses. The beauty in the trading with the run option is that you are limiting the loss, but you are maximizing the profit. So that is the key about it. That's trade management. That's the last thing you need to know. You could enter a great trade, you'll still lose money if you don't know how to manage your trade. You need to know how to manage your trade by limiting your loss, maximizing your profit. That is not easy to start with, because a lot of the time we get emotional, move the targets, move the stops, and then we close the trade and then realizing, oh my God, market is still moving, I should have not exited, or oh, I exited, glad I exited. Both ways, right? I think you need to know all these things. But in the end, you need to know in terms of how the strategy works. If you know how the strategy works, if you know where to place your stops, if you know where to enter, where not to enter, if you know how to confirm the trend, all the questions, if you master it by pep trading a lot, you can do a better job. You can even automate it, giving all the information to the bot as well. Do you have any questions so far? I think, okay.
I'm not seeing any questions, but it's looking good. Appreciate you
All right. So,
going through that for us.
Dave, why don't you show the last screen one more time so that we can wrap it up?
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Let me take the screen back from you. I have to sing while I'm doing it. Make presenter. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, so I'm showing, should be able to see my screen now. This is the last screen. Again, to go and get that incredible pricing now, you got to go over, the website is buysideglobal.com, but you've got to get that special offer, because we're not offering just folks that stumble into our website. You go to buysideglobal.com/offer. Okay. Now, the other thing you'd want to do, before I forget, by the way, Rob, Andrew, well, I won't give his last name. Andrew got the answer right. He answered that right. So I want to make sure he gets his discount from you. But anyway, if the worst case scenario is, let's say for some reason you can't get that in there, bicycleable.com/offer, for some, you can't get to your computer when you want to, or for some reason you can't get that taken care of today, or before end of close business tomorrow, shoot an email to us at info@BuySideGlobal to say, hey, I'm interested in that discount. For some reason, my computer went down, or whatever it is. Just at least let us know that you're interested in that. We can make that happen, or help you get, if we need to get on the phone with you, we can help you do that as well, just to lock in that great discount on there. So that's pretty much all I had to say. If you got any more questions out there, shoot those in the next couple of minutes. If not, we're going to tell Rob, thanks. Anything you want to add, Rob, before I close the webinar out and let these folks go about their day?
Yeah, I think this time we are changing the strategy in terms of, we wanted to master the trading strategy. We are here to, even we mentioned the offer indicators for 1 year and then bought for 1 month, everything. But we did not mention that how long the training will go on. The reason is that we are going to train you as long as you need it. That's the goal we have. We are trying to educate, train, paper trade it, as long as you have the commitment to work hard to get there. We are here for you.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah. We're here to help you guys out. If it's a matter of, hey, get on a phone call with somebody that knows what they're talking about, we'll make that happen with you. You got full access to the trading room. We're just here to help your success. Your success is our success. So that's what we're here for. So, all right, I'm going to close things out. And again, I don't see any more questions here that I'm kind of looking as I'm talking. So thanks guys, thanks everybody for being here. Now we're gonna, again, the training room is every day in the mornings. So if you want to get into that, shoot over to our website, become part of our family here. Thank you guys, everybody that's being here. I could especially the folks that participated back and forth with me in the chat, in the questions area. I appreciate that as well. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. And again, head over to our website, snatch that up. Again, at some point you've got to make that decision. Am I serious about this? Is this just a hobby? Is this just me? Is this me using my kayak again? Now it's out in the yard getting bleached in the sun. Or is this something you're really serious about, making a supplemental or replacement income? Put a little bit down towards you, invest in yourself, and go ahead and get that, pull that trigger, and we'll see you in the trading room. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks. Have a great rest of your day.